Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. We're continuing our series with the Fitchburg Senior Center, celebrating 40 years, and I have a very special guest today. First time on Talking Fitchburg, I believe. It's Jeanie Sieling. She's a former mayor of Fitchburg. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, and what is a great week of celebrating at the Senior Center.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're going to start today with you were very instrumental in the move over to the community center here on the Lacey Road location. But set up from your early memory of the senior center before it came here. What are some of your memories there?
It was a very small building, which has now been torn down, but it had the offices for the town hall, then the city hall. And all activities, major activities, had to take place in one big room that everyone used. So, for example, the seniors had to put up these big, heavy tables and take them
Geez.
down each time they did something. And that was getting hard. And there were a lot of community events that were a potential, but they just had no place to meet. It just wasn't. So we started talking about having a community center, senior center. And there were people who didn't want us to leave that location where the old town hall was because it's geographically the center of Fitchburg, and that meant a lot to some people, especially the old timers. Like, that's the center of the city, and but I felt it was on septic and well, and Bill Linton, when he started Promega, had donated 10 acres of land to the city. So we had this land here, and it was in the urban service area, and it was more central to the citizens of Fitchburg, easier to get to. And Fitchburg is big, 6 square miles almost. So the people who were opposed to it really wanted to, we had a referendum, and they wanted to load it up with different things so it was how big is it, how much is it going to cost, and there was one other question on there, but they put as many as possible because if you want to defeat a referendum, you load it up with a whole bunch of things that people
Section it off,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
for the same amount of funding, right?
Right. So I told the seniors were the ones that were pushing the most for it because, they were an active group. So I told them the city of Fitchburg could not advocate for their own referendum by state law. You put a referendum on the ballot, but you can't,
Right.
do anything. But I said, if you formed a group of your own and formed as a political action group and registered, then you can raise money and they did. They formed a separate group and raised money and had flyers, went door to door, and the referendum passed by 75%.
Wow.
So it was everybody was really happy, a big celebration. And of course, because we were locked into the cost, anytime there was a cost increase in building it, we had to cut back. We couldn't increase the cost because
Sure.
that was the referendum. So, but it turned out to be a wonderful building. And I think so many different groups in the city are now using it because they just didn't know, they didn't have any place to meet.
Yeah, as we're taping this now, I'm over there doing training in the community center. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's being used today. We've talked about it. We had Sue Sheets here as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about programs from before to programs today hold pretty consistent,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool.
It's great. Boy, the senior center is a wonderful place, and it's just got so much to offer. And as I mentioned to you before, cable TV was in that old building too, the Fitchburg Fact TV, and we gave them space and in the new building so that they could grow and do a lot more than they could over there.
Yeah, absolutely, and we still hold that space to today as another area here for Fact TV. So thank you,
Yeah.
personally, thank you for that. As a mayor, how important was it to offer senior activities, have a senior center, the meals, the activities, the camaraderie? As a mayor, how important was that for
that
you?
was a very high priority because it just was getting to be a burden for them in the other place with just not having the space and having to set everything up and take it down. So um, it was it was like getting this building built was one of my major priorities in the last couple of years, and um, it came together and was built just as my term was ending. So
Do you remember the grand opening for the
yeah,
center?
yeah, it was wonderful. And I think one of the other things, I don't know how many people know this, but we situated the building so when you come in the front door of the community center and go down the long hall, we have a view of the Capitol.
Dead
And
on.
yeah, yes, it's wonderful. So that was a goal too, to have
No
that.
kidding.
Yeah,
Well, I always wondered. I'm like, how did we perfectly figure out that the Capitol was right there?
yeah,
Even on the reconstruction project, we still kept that true,
true.
and keeping it idolized there
Yes,
as far
yeah,
seeing it. As you look at the senior center today and look at the use of that building, how proud of you? How
oh,
proud are you
yeah. Well,
of everything that went into it?
I'm very proud, and now I am a senior, and so I've really used it a lot and love, all the classes and all the things that go on there and the training and, just social things and health-wise things, health checks. So I think it's a model for the county, really, of what can be done. So,
Yeah, I think it's you guys have done a really good job, and as I've learned more about how this all came to be, it's a very strong network of
yeah,
seniors,
yes,
a great staff over the years, and more. And I think that you guys have done a great job with everything surrounding this.
thank you, thank
And
you.
yeah, crazy to be 40 years already, huh?
Yes, that's a long time.
It certainly is. Well, thank you so much for the time.
Yes,
Looking forward to hearing your speech here Thursday night, and hopefully we'll see you down at the senior center for some activities.
yeah, thank you.
All right, that is Jeanie Sieling, your former mayor here at the city of Fitchburg, and again, she'll be along with other great guests Thursday night discussing some of the memories of the senior center. And we'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.